What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of That Hobby Show. I forget what episode number this is, so I guess that's a good thing that we're getting off of one hand now. So yeah. But anyway, as always, welcome to Houston from Chasing the Graph. How you doing today?
I'm good, my man.
Yeah,
How about yourself?
good. How was your Easter?
It was good, man. We didn't really do a whole lot of open the pool today. We went and ate dinner with our family, and that was about it. How about yours, man?
I had my boys this weekend, so we got to do the Easter thing with them. And apparently, I'm really good at hiding eggs because not all of them have been found. So yeah, so maybe next time when the boys come down next month, they'll be able to find the rest of their Easter eggs because I can't.
Hopefully, the lawnmower will find them.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Arizona, man. Desert landscape. We got rocks and cactus.
Oh yeah, rocks and cactus.
Yeah, so we're good. But yeah, so this episode is all about card grading companies. I really wasn't sure what to title it because I was like, what would people call it so they know what the hell we're actually talking about? But a lot has actually happened this past week in the world of card grading, and I guess we'll just go ahead and get started with the biggest news of the week is PSA, which stands for Professional Sports Authenticator. They're probably, I would say they're the most well-known name in card grading. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So last month, which would be March, there was rumors that they were going to be increasing their prices. They were going to be making a big jump with the submission prices. And then I would say, maybe Monday, Tuesday, the news came out that they are suspending the submissions for their value, economy, regular, and express services, which that accounts for 97.9% of all their items submitted. And so beginning 1 April, that is suspended until they set a date of 1 July, and that is to catch up on the backlog of the items. Me personally, I don't know if they'll be able to get rid of that backlog by July because, believe it or not, I actually do research for the show. And I was on the PSA website and reading, and they were saying the president of I don't know if he's the owner, president, CEO of PSA, Joe Orlando, was saying that per work week, which I'm assuming for them is 5 days, they were
Monday through Friday.
Yeah, they were getting over 500,000 submissions. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how true it is, but there was a stat, I guess, going around on Twitter that I think it was last year they received like 2.4 million submissions. I think is what it was. And how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so I mean, if you go off of last year, they did 2.4 million. So if they're doing 500,000 a week, that's 2 million in a month right there. And so a couple of the other things I was reading is they're moving into a bigger warehouse. They're adding on space. They're hiring new graders, which I don't know. I still think grading is really subjective. You can buy, I don't know if you've seen them, but you can buy the grading tools. It's like a little, almost a plastic, see-through plastic grid map almost that can help you with the centering of the card and the edges and things like that. And I just don't know if you can get somebody up to speed in 3 months. I don't know. I would think with grading me, I'd probably be a really hard grader. Because I want to be meticulous, and there's a reason that that Panini, or not Panini, I'm sorry, that PSA is supposed to be the best. But now that's not to say they haven't had their fair share of scandals with the trimmed cards and things like that. But yeah, I just thought it was crazy, and it seemed a little fishy to me that so you announced that you're going to raise your prices, right? And then
Mhm.
just for that month, so you raise your prices for a month, and then the next month you pretty much shut everything down. It kind of makes it seem like they knew this was coming, and they needed to, I guess, lack of a better term, build up that nest egg to get them through the next 3 months of very minimal income. You know what I mean? It just sounds kind of
Yeah,
shady to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of building
Mm,
a safety net for the next 30, 60, 90 days or however long, because with them raising their prices at 2 million submissions a month, and I can't help but think that they kind of added a nice little cushion for them to knock out this backlog.
mhm. Yeah, because I mean, and it also said they hired over 100 new graders. So how you paying for that? But on the flip side, they have been making money hand over fist because with the way that this pandemic has been insane. Like the stuff that people have been spending their money on has kind of blown my mind. Like the housing market is exploding. Well, if people are getting laid off or they're getting fired, where are they getting hundreds of thousands of dollars for a house? I know, granted, you don't pay cash for a house because we're not
Right.
athletes or celebrities, but and then you have the trading card boom. Well, not just trading cards, but I've seen lately on Twitter that Fortnite cards are selling for crazy amounts of money. Uh,
Look at the Allen Genter egg.
yeah, the egg. Yeah, yeah. If you guys aren't familiar, Allen and Ginner, it's a brand from Tops that they kind of they brought back from the dead, and it has not only baseball players but people in pop culture, and then some odd stuff. They'll have flags from around the world, birds, and then they had a picture of an egg, just a literal card with an egg on it, and it was going for crazy money on eBay. And there was another one that they did, Bitcoin for cryptocurrency a few years back, and that was going for a lot of money too. But yeah. So, have you ever submitted a card for grading?
I have not. It's not something that, for me, obviously, if you grade a card, there's the, I guess, um, the look, for lack of a better term, that you're submitting those cards for resale. You
Hmm.
want to submit those cards to get them graded. Hopefully, you get a 10 or a 9, and then you resell it. So I I just never done it. I mean, for even for PC or anything like that, I've never done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Me, I haven't either. And for people that aren't familiar, when we talk about a card getting a 9 or a 10, uh, all the cards are graded on a scale from 1 to 10. I don't know if they give a 0 or not, but
Not that I'm.
yeah. And then they'll have the grading company will have what's called a pop report or a population report, and it shows you how many of that particular card has a certain grade, how many tens there are out there, how many nines, how many eights. And that's also, those numbers can be fudged a little bit too, because another thing that people do is they'll crack open the cases. And if they'll crack open the case, A, if they don't like the grade that the card got, and then B, to clean the card off. There's
Mhm.
there's a thing where you can actually clean the cards, especially Chrome cards. You want to wipe off fingerprints, things like that, because the card is graded on its surface. I don't know if you remember. I'm probably dating myself, but that website called Hot or Not, where you just rated people. That's basically what they're doing to your trading card. If it looks good to them, it's going to get a good grade, and the better it looks, the less more they're going to scrutinize the card. So I've never submitted any for grading myself. it kind of stresses me out because even though I'm not, I wouldn't submit it to flip it because I just don't have that much time. Because with the way that trading cards are blowing up right now, if you don't have the graded card in hand of that guy that's hot, you're I mean, you're still going to make money, but you're going to leave hundreds of dollars on the table because with the grading companies getting overwhelmed, it's not taking weeks to get your cards back. It's taking months.
Yep,
I
definitely.
was last night when I was doing a little bit of research, I was looking at Beckett because I was like, okay, so uh, with PSA shutting down, and then I'll get into SGC what they did this week. Like who is that next company that could make the leap and maybe I don't know if they could overtake PSA, but maybe be the second best. So I was looking at Beckett, and right now they're charging their economy with no subgrades. So no subgrades means they're just going to rate the overall card. They're not going to give you a grade on the surface, corners, edge, and centering. So the economy, no subgrades, it's $20 per card, which isn't bad, but the wait time is 9+ months. So hopefully you don't plan on moving within that year because somebody else will probably get an awesome package of your cards. And yeah, but so I'll go back to what I was talking about, the other company, SGC. So this one was pretty disappointing to me because if I was going to submit cards, like I had the three companies that I was going to use. I was going to use PSA for the modern cards. That's pretty much, I think they call modern now anything over, is it like 1975 or something like that?
I had 74 in my head, so that's got to be somewhere right around in
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
So I was going to use PSA for that, and then my like everybody knows, I get a lot of in-person autographs. So I was going to use Beckett and get my in-person autograph cards, even though I know they're legit. It would basically be for my children. Like, so when I pass away, there's already established market where they can go, look, this is a Clayton Kershaw. It's authentic. It says, authentic, and they can go right to a price guide and just look at the, you can look at the sold for comps on eBay, and boom, right there's a price, And then SGC, those are the cases, everybody calls them tuxes or tuxedos because it's a black border. They look pretty sweet. And I was going to use those for my vintage cards, right? But me being a vintage collector, those cards already cost a lot of money, right? So SGC, their prices were $15 per card, which isn't bad because I can't afford the bulk submission rate, right?
Yeah.
And usually bulk is about 50 cards. So that's, I can't do the math right now. I don't have my phone with me, but that's a lot of money. And so SGC had raised their prices. It kind of flew under the radar. It went from $15 to $25 a card. That was a couple months ago because they were like, well, hell, we need to keep up with everything. It's getting hard for us to keep up with the demand, so we're going to raise the price. And then even if it slows down a little bit, because we raised the price, we're still going to make a decent amount of money. And then, sorry, I'm trying to, I do have some graded cards. I should have had them out so I could show everyone. But this is the SGC cards. So you see the black border, the tuxedo, and then that's the 1959 Topps Roberto Clemente. Right over here is the 3. That's the grade, which isn't great, but for a card that's over 60 years old, it's not bad. But the cool thing is, so you can type in 1959 Topps Roberto Clemente SGC 3, and it'll give you a price. And hopefully you don't have to haggle. Right. So this month, starting on March 5th. So March 5th is when they raised their price from $15 to $25.
Right.
And then after that, they started ending their bulk discounts. So if you were going to submit 50 cards, they weren't going to give you a price break. But that still didn't slow things down. And then this week, which it blows my mind, but I mean, they can do it because it's their company. So they tripled their price per card. They went from $25 a card to $75 a card, which, I mean, me and you, we're not big deals in the card world by any means, but we know that for you to be able to make money on that card, you need to submit a really, really good card. Because
if you're definitely going for resale value, then you can't just submit that card and then it comes back an 8, because in modern, if you get an 8, that's like anything 8 or under is pretty undesirable from what I can tell.
Yeah.
And if you don't really do your homework and you send a card and you pay $75 to grade it, and then whatever I don't know if that includes shipping or not. And I don't know, they're probably 10 or 15 for shipping, I guess.
Yeah, because you got to pay for shipping and insurance too.
Yeah. And so let's just say for theoreticals, you pay $100 to grade a card, it comes back in 8, and then you're sitting there with a $50, $60 card at best.
Yeah. I spent $75 to lose 25. It's crazy. But yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, at this point, I think that it just, in my opinion, going back to what you were saying as far as who's going to step up, I do think that SGC is going to be that kind of that second in command there, with PSA pumping the brakes on everything. And so I think they just kind of saw an opportunity and ran with it. It seems as though they think they're a monopoly now somehow, which they're not. But I do think that they're playing the field and they're going to benefit from it.
Yeah. Personally, I think it might actually be Beckett. They've been pretty upfront about the wait times when I was looking at everything last night, and they are one of the few companies where you don't have to join their grading club. A lot of them have a membership program where you get perks.
Right.
I actually last month submitted my first cards to Beckett. Now, it wasn't for grading, it was just for encapsulation. They had a special where they were doing 50% off any card submitted that the value was less than $25. So what that means, it was $49.99. So any authentication fee. So they have a huge database. Anything from NASCAR drivers to jockeys to Olympic athletes. So each athlete has their own price that you have to pay to get their signature authenticated. So I submitted 11 cards because that's all the form would allow me. I didn't want to fill out 2 forms. And the only card that I submitted that was over the $50 price point was Roy Halladay. And so his autograph, they charged $50 to authenticate. And apparently I messed up my order form and I didn't even realize it. And the cool thing was Beckett actually reached out to me through email, and they said, "Hey, we reviewed your order. This is what we think you were trying to do. So hit us up and let us know if that's what you want." And yeah, because I wanted to get mine encapsulated and you can get your autographs graded too, but
yeah,
I didn't want to do that because as well as I do, that when you're getting autographs in person, you're usually not alone. The athletes are rushed and you may not get the best signature. So that could hurt the grade of the signature as well. So I just wanted a basic, put it in plastic. That way, when I'm gone, then my kids can, fight over it. But it's So this is what Beckett looks like, the sleeves. Sorry. So you see there, and then it just has authentic autograph. That's all I wanted, the basic. So
That's pretty sweet though. I've heard of the encapsulation and I've seen them, but I've never seen one like I guess like in person. So that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, and I like it too because it's the slab isn't busy. That's what we call the encapsulated card slabs, getting it slabbed. It's not busy. It's just basically there to give you the serial number so you can go in the Beckett database and track it, and then it tells you what the card is and who the signer is, and that's it. And
Quite
that's,
literally the COA.
yeah. Excuse me. So and like I was saying, they're one of the few companies that are still running specials just for Joe Schmoes. And so I was like, screw it. I might as well try it, you know? So we'll
Yeah.
see. And it's 30 days. So I still have like 3 more weeks. And then hopefully my buddy gets a hold of me and lets me know when the cards get shipped off to him. But then they're also doing another special this week, or not this week, but this month. So it's basic authentication for $7. So that's where you send this. You put the card in the sleeve, you put it in the card saver, you send it in for $7, and they'll put the authentication sticker on it. So it won't be in that hard plastic case. But for $7, you can't beat it. But it just has to be a signer that is at the $20 value and below. So
Yeah, and for just along those same lines, if nobody knows, if Beckett also has a really cool thing called Beckett Quick Opinion, where you just go.
Didn't you try that?
Yeah, I did. I submitted a Nolan Ryan card that I got for literally like $2.50. The kid said his granddad had it signed years ago. Obviously, there's no COA with it, so he couldn't prove if it was real or fake. But he knew it was real. But anybody that wanted to be a pain could be like, "Well, I don't know that's real." But so I sent it to Beckett, and there's a portion on their website where it says quick opinion or quick authentication opinion or something like that. But basically, you just fill the form out with who signed it, if it's a card, picture, ball, or whatever. And then you can submit up to 5 pictures of the autograph itself. And I think I sent 4. And then it's a $10 fee. And then usually within 24 hours, you get an email back saying not likely to pass, likely to pass, or likely to pass full authentication. And the pictures I sent, mine came back as likely to pass full authentication.
Nice. And I mean, if you think about it, so that costs you what, $10?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's say you paid $3 for it, $10 for the quick opinion. You're into the card for $13. I believe Nolan signs cards through his foundation, the Nolan Ryan Foundation, but I believe he charges $75 a card, right?
Yeah, somewhere between 70 and 75. Yeah.
So, okay, you're into it for $13. He charges 75, but now that you got that quick opinion, you can go ahead and send it in. And since it's Nolan Ryan, I mean, he's one of the all-time greats, but he signs a lot, so his price point should be pretty low. He should be in the 25, maybe the $30 range, and you can get that encapsulated.
I was actually looked into submitting it for full authentication, and I haven't done it yet, but I think it was 20.
Yeah. So you end up paying maybe $30 altogether, and it's going to cost you a total of $42 for a $75 card, which, I mean, you can't beat it.
No, not at all. And I was going to add to the SGC thing too, because there's a group I'm in on Facebook. It's a SGC submission group, and they've been pretty active here because I think they submit like group subs like 2 or 3 times a year. And yeah, and I know they were getting some stuff together for March, but as of like a couple of days ago, the SGC turnaround time's like 14 to 21 days.
That's still not bad. I mean, that's really good, especially if you want to flip it. But now, I mean, even then, with a super quick turnaround, you're still paying $75 a card. So that's pretty insane. And then there's like some other other grading companies that have been coming along. I don't know. You probably follow them on Twitter as well as I do. It's pretty comical, but HGA, the hybrid grading approach, and they just can't seem to get out of their way. So they have each. It's like each grading company needs a gimmick to set themselves apart. So SGC has the tuxedos. Now HGA, they have, you can customize the labels. And last week, was it last week or maybe the week before, they got into some trouble with
the clip art.
Yeah, clip art, copyright infringement. They took an artist's artwork and airbrushed off the artist's signature. But supposedly they reached out to the artist after all kinds of backlash and made it right. But then there was another card that they were fooling around with the label. It was the Steph Curry card. I forget what the insert is, but it's like a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's basketball. Yeah, I think it might be Crunch Time or something like that. But yeah, so they can't seem to stop shooting themselves in the foot. And then I've heard that their website is extremely unuser friendly. So, but
I actually tried to get in with them.
Oh, really?
For 3 weeks. Yeah, because I had a red, white, and blue LaMelo Ball draft picks card that I thought would look great in one of their slabs. And for the first 2 weeks I tried, basically you go in, you kind of put everything in the order that you want, the name, the card number, typical stuff. And then on Fridays at 9:00, you just try your damnedest to get in there, get your order brought up, get it in the cart, and submit it. And they were doing, I think, 2,000 a week. And it opened up at Fridays at 9, and by 9:04, the 2,000 submissions were filled up. And so people were getting all kinds of errors, and the website wasn't loading, or it was freezing. And so they decided that went on for a month. It was just 2 weeks that I tried it. But then after those 2 weeks, they came up with a thing. It's like, we're going to do Thursdays at 5 and then Fridays at 9. And we're going to do I think it's 12 or 1,500 submissions each session.
Uh-huh.
And then you can log in up to 15 minutes beforehand. And then you get, once 5 o'clock on Thursday comes, you get put into you get randomized and then put into a queue. And let's say they were doing 2,000. I think they were doing 2,000 submissions on each one at that one. And let's say you're 700th in line, and you're like, sweet, 2,000 submissions, and I'm 700. We're getting in. People were submitting 40 and 50 cards at a time. So you would wait in the queue for 30 minutes, and then it would come up, unfortunately, our session has filled for this week. Try again tomorrow. And that happened to me for 2 weeks. And so after 4 weeks of not getting in, I just gave up, because even though you're in the lobby before the time comes up, 5 p.m., once 5 p.m. is hit, you're randomized. So if there are 2,000 submissions and you get 4,000th in line, then the math just doesn't add up, and it's still not going to work. And they tried to make it more reasonable after 3 weeks of that happening, where they limited it to 5 cards per order. And I haven't tried since then, but I've even seen people on Twitter just last week saying that spots were being filled up before their time in the queue was up. So I get that they're trying to limit the orders to keep turnaround times to where they can get them, but it just seems like there's got to be a better way.
Yeah, that seems like a huge pain in the ass. I never understood why a business would make it difficult on the consumer to give them money. That's a huge I didn't even know that that's how they did it. So I appreciate you telling me that. But I mean, all the other grading companies, I just go on their website, type in what I want. You get each time that you do an online form, it has an invoice number as just for that session. and then you just take a picture of that with your cards, and then you put a copy of it in a box, label it, and send it off. No waiting in queues or anything like that. That blows my mind. That I mean, wait, that's just, I don't know, stupidity.
The first,
I don't know any other way to put it, because if you're going to start a company, you start a company to make money, but you're not like, yeah, I'm cool if I get 10 customers today, no big deal. No, you want 1 million people a day coming into your store or your website, whatever. I mean, you don't want your website to crash, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because that means you're getting a shitload of traffic. It's people, man. I just trying
yeah,
to like not doing their research.
I the first time I tried it, when they started the whole enter in a queue or whatever, I ducked out of work like 5 minutes early on a Thursday and went out there and just like ran in my car. And
Yeah,
at like four, it was like 4:56. I jumped in like, and it was like doors will open in 2 minutes and 38 seconds, and then they counted down, and then the doors open, and literally I'm sitting there and I'm watching the numbers dwindle, and it gives you like a bar, like a loading bar, and it starts going down the closer you get, and it comes up with a message, thank you for whatever, unfortunately our queue for our limit or whatever for today has been filled or whatever. And so I signed in at like 4:56, and when that message came up, it was 5:32. So I literally wasted like 35, almost 40 minutes of my time for nothing.
yeah,
I'm not doing it again.
yeah. If people want to make things difficult for me, I'm not going to go. I'm not going out of my way to give you my money. Because you also got to look at how much, what is your time worth, because so that's what I try to factor in when I sell cards on Twitter, uh like when I do my autograph sales, my in-person autograph. So flat rate, no matter what, $2, right? So because you got 55 cents for the envelope, I buy the non-machinable stamps. Now that I think about it, I'm probably losing money, because you have the non-machinable stamp, the envelope, the soft sleeve, top loader, and team bag. I do all that. So that's probably more than $2. But then that also takes time to write out, the addresses and all that, seal everything up. So you always got to try and I try to add that, but I'm kind of getting off topic. But one of the other things we did talk about that I didn't put in the title is there was a card release this week. So Topps released their Heritage design. So every year it's called Topps Heritage. Basically, they recycle an image and a flagship design, and then they put today's players on it. So this year's Topps Heritage was the 1972 Topps design, which is a pretty cool design. A lot of these designs I dug, except for 1971. The all black border, super hard to get in good condition, and especially someone like me that likes to get in-person autographs, the edges get chipped so easily, and then it just looks.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's a lot of people that are set collectors, and there was one player that was not included because Topps messed up again. So that was Kevin Biggio. So if anybody's trying to complete the set, they probably seen, I think he was like card number 261 or something, that they probably had this empty space in their 9-page binder, that maybe they were thinking this dude was a super, super short print, because he was in all the other insert sets. So he was in the mini and all the other parallels that come with that release, just not his base card. And Topps had released a message that they're going to put him in. At the end of the year, they do Heritage High Numbers, which is full of SPs and stuff like that. So I I thought that was kind of funny. That
Yeah, because I seen their release, and they were basically like, we've been made aware that we were missing a player in our set, and it's like, what do you mean you were made aware? Like, how are you not aware before?
Yeah, right. And yeah, it just kind of sucks that they went ahead and put him in the SP set. But I mean, I don't know how else they could have done it, like given it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could have sent it to the LCSs, the local card shops that have that account with Tops or whatever, and they could sell it for $1 and all the proceeds go to like some charity or some shit. They could have did
Yeah,
something like that. That would have been pretty cool. Send it to a food bank, the whatever area's food banks. But that's
they're
why I'm
kind of
CEO, because I'm not greedy. So
yeah, they've been kind of like HGA. They've been kind of in their own way a little bit with the BTS Garbage Pail Kids. I don't know if you heard about that or seen that.
yeah, I seen that, the BTS card. And then I've been seeing I follow blowout forums, blowout cards, and like you see all of the miscut cards and the horrible autographs, and just the quality control is pretty garbage. But I mean, we really don't know how many cards they print, because I don't think they would ever tell us that, because if they tell us that there's 15 million Vladimir Guerrero Juniors in, Series 1, maybe people aren't going to spend, $50 for a base card. So, we really don't know how limited their stuff is, and they'll probably never tell us. Kind of like the 89 Upper Deck King Griffey Jr. card, where they're still saying that they're finding rolls of those cards that that still haven't been cut yet.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Prism football from last year from Panini, the Herberts and all that run has ended. But you could scroll through Twitter on any given day and see some of the most horribly
Yeah.
misprinted cards you've ever seen in your life. And I mean, it was hard to say that that's what it was from last year, because things were just really getting started and ramped up. But this
Mm.
year, I think the quality control issues are they're just trying to pump out more cards than they normally do or normally
Mm.
have in the last decade. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, it's kind of a lose-lose, because people, it's they're not going to highlight the good cards. Nobody's going to be like, "Hey, check out this really well-centered Stevie Wilkerson card that I pulled." People are going to be like, "Well, no shit, that's what Topps is supposed to do."
Yeah,
But if you get one that's like cut in half, everybody wants to burn them at the stake type thing. But yeah, so that is I really don't have a good way to end it, but that's pretty much all for the show. But next week we will, well, I can't say we will. I have a soft yes on Twitter from Jeff Lyman. Any Atlanta Braves fans will probably remember him. He was in the Braves organization, the A's organization, and somewhere else. I reached out to him on Twitter. He said it would be fun to come on. He couldn't join us this weekend because he's still in Florida. He's actually flying from Florida to California today. So hopefully next week we will have former minor leaguer Jeff Lyman, pretty highly regarded prospect at the time. I actually got his autograph back in 2009 in the Arizona Fall League. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to shedding the light on the life of a minor leaguer. Like, how did you look for an agent? Shit we would never think about. What was the agent's fee? Did you get your signing bonus all up front? Did you have to learn how to balance a checkbook on your own, being an 18-year-old that's 100,000 which, I mean, that kind of sounds stupid, but that's still a lot of money to me even today, because that takes me a few years to get there. And this kid, well, at the time, 18 years old, boom, here's a giant check from like The Price is Right, and it's go be a professional baseball player now. So I'm really looking forward to asking him those types of questions. And he's also a big card collector. That's actually how I found him on Twitter, because he's one of those guys where I finally put my name in my Twitter bio. It used to be Charm City Graphs, at Charm City Graphs, and then people were like, well, what do I call you? Who are you? So then finally I put my real name. So Justin Schaefer. So people can, associate me with a real person and not a bot. And, but yeah, his name isn't in his bio. And then I seen this guy posting, really nice baseball cards, and then talking about when he used to play. And then, I did a little snooping, read the comments, and I'm like, I know who you are. So, yeah, like I know
By
you.
the way,
Yeah, and I have your baseball cards. It's a good thing. Thank you for signing them all, or else you'd be getting some in the mail. But yeah, and asking stuff like that, does he like signing autographs? Does he still get cards through the mail? Because he's actually in a decent amount of Bowman releases. So I'm going to have to go back and do some more research and see what other cards he has. Maybe that'd be a cool.
maybe you could find out if he's ever autographed anything weird.
Yeah, there you go. A autograph original. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I don't want to get everybody's hopes up. Basically, it's me in Houston, so I don't want to get our hopes up. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week's episode, and that's probably going to be one of our longest ones. However long he has time for, because he's doing this out of the graciousness of his heart. And the other minor leaguers, current minor leaguers I've reached out to, I've tried bribing them with a $25 Chipotle gift card, and nobody has replied. So maybe I'll have to try Moe's or B-Dubs or something. Maybe
Chipotle. I mean, you would think people would jump all over Chipotle. You would think.
I know, man. And yeah, if you have a gift card, you can afford the guac too, right? So that's like a week's worth of meals for a minor leaguer. Which, I mean, it doesn't really matter now, because who knows when the hell the minor league baseball season is starting. So that's another rant I can go on, because the AAA season is suspended right now, and they're just playing exhibition games, but they're selling tickets for full price at those minor league stadiums. Alternate training sites is what Manfred is calling them. So, but anyway, Houston, you have anything to plug? Any stack sales coming up?
Nah, no stack sales coming up. No giveaways from the Facebook page this weekend, with it being Easter. I hope everybody enjoy some time with their family this weekend and today, and got to make some good memories.
Yeah, I did a lot of giveaways today. I did 60 giveaways. I put them all in little Easter eggs. So some of them are still out there. But yeah, you can catch me, Charm City Autographs, on Facebook and YouTube, and Charm City Graphs on Twitter. Houston, you are chasing the graph everywhere, right?
Yep, except for Instagram. You got to get that number.
Oh yeah, number 8. Great. Ocho.
No cinco.
Yeah. But yeah, awesome, dude. Thanks for coming on, and hopefully everyone enjoyed the broadcast. And here is the weird pause. So thanks, everyone.